Hello, good evening, and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL Company Limited, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, the operators of the Integrated Customs Management System, ICOMS at the ports, and indeed the latest kid on the block, that is Meridian Port Services, MPS. The show is streaming live on our social media handles. On Facebook, you are watching us live at Iron Port, that's Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are streaming live also at Port of Tema. Port of Tema. On YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port Ghana. Iron Port Ghana. Indeed, our media partner on this journey of a lifetime is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. If you want to have a grasp of all that's transpired in the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to see all that happened here on the show tonight. Indeed, along the line, we shall be getting interactive with you. You know that's what we do always here on the show. And so you can send us your comments and messages ahead via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0559-019-177. 0559-019-177. When I pick signals from our producers at the appropriate time, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion this evening. My name is Kennedy Mona. Please do stay. We're back right after this break.
Every now and again, GOIL makes good things happen. This time, GOIL has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Sulphur, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
All right, so in the course of the week, some 120 plus drivers and customers of GOIL had the opportunity to be rewarded with some fantastic souvenirs, and that was in a promotion organized by the company at its DAWHENYA service station. Let's take a look at this particular story.
More than 120 different drivers have been awarded in a GOIL promotion at the DAWHENYA station for their continued loyalty to the GOIL brand. They received television sets, refrigerators, gas cookers, pressing irons, and standing fans, among other electronic appliances and souvenirs. The various beneficiaries qualified for the promotion as a result of continued patronage of GOIL products over the course of the first quarter of 2022.
We have drivers coming in to fill forms, telling us showing what they're buying. Then at the end of the period, we present them with awards. So it depends on how much you're buying. Then at the end of it, we tally all, then we give out our awards.
The Tema Zonal Manager of GOIL, Rita Ado, reassured customers of GOIL of continued delivery of quality services and products.
We are thanking them and telling them that the next one is starting again just after Easter for the second quarter. This was for the first quarter. So the second quarter will also start just after Easter. Then at the end of June, we're going to reward them again. This is to thank them and to let others also know the good things we're doing here. We've put additives into the products for better performance of our engines, so we can assure them that when they buy GOIL products, they will not go wrong. We also have good lubricants that they also should buy for their vehicles. So this is what we are telling them, that as they've known us from Titi, they should still continue to be with us.
The beneficiaries of the promotion shared their experiences using GOIL products.
When I started working with GOIL, I see a difference in my life and in my vehicles and everything. I realize it is helping me. So I force all my drivers to patronize GOIL product.
None of the cars are complaining that when we go to the road, these are the challenges we are having. No. So GOIL, I advise everybody that go to GOIL and buy fuel. It's the best fuel in the market so far.
All right, so let's go global and take a look at what's happening in the port and shipping industry.
ANL, a subsidiary of French container and logistics shipping giant CMA-CGM Group, has completed a first biofuel trial on a containerized shipping vessel within Oceania. The trial, undertaken on ANL's AAX1 service, was a 42-day rotation, commencing in Brisbane, travelling via Southeast Asia and then on to key Australian ports. Australian retailer Woolworths Group has been a key partner in this biofuel trial, looking to invest in new opportunities to lower supply chain emissions across the board. The trial voyage used a B20 biofuel blend with feedstock supplied by Queensland-based Ecotech, while BP Marine and Port of Brisbane played a pivotal role in supplying and bunkering the blended fuel. Portugal-based European Maritime Safety Agency, together with Germany's Federal Maritime and Hydrographic Agency, is conducting a large-scale emissions monitoring campaign using remotely piloted aircraft, scheduled to begin later this month. Over a 3-month period, a specially equipped drone will measure the sulfur content in the exhaust plumes of ships transiting the Baltic Sea in order to be able to detect violations of the applicable limits. At the same time, image data will also be collected for hydrographic surveying purposes. The remotely piloted aircraft will take off from the German Armed Forces Staberhoek site on the east coast of Fehmarn and fly over selected ships operating in the Fehmarn Belt and the Kadetrenden in order to measure the sulfur content of their exhaust plumes using specific sensors.
All right, so those were some, stories in the global shipping and port industry. We're now going to zoom into our discussion proper tonight, and tonight we're talking port efficiency and the role of the haulage sector. Now, if you are familiar with the terrain of the port of Tema or the Tema enclave, you would realize that when you enter into the, Tema and around the port enclave in particular, you would have, noticed the parking of long trucks, long vehicles, haulage trucks all over the place. Sometimes you are some of the people that even ask why they park at particular places, unapproved places, unprescribed parking places and all that. And so tonight we're just trying to take a look at the role of the haulage sector in port efficiency. What can they do? What are they doing to ensure that operations in the port are as efficient as possible? They have a lot of things to do, and we have one particular company, that's JAPTU. That's an association that is in charge of all these haulage trucks and the drivers. And so we want to find out from them what they are doing together with their members to ensure that operations in the port is seamless, it's efficient, and quite effective. And so I'm privileged this evening to introduce to you Mr. Ibrahim Musa, who is Executive Secretary of JAPTU. And JAPTU, by the way, is the Joint Association of Port Transport Unions, Ghana, yes. JAPTU Ghana.
Exactly.
And we also have in the studios that's a Vice Chairman of JAPTU, Alhaji Shamsu Babayaro. Yes, good to have you here in the studios, Alhaji. Is this your first time?
Yeah, this is my first time.
Oh, fantastic. Good to have you. We are grateful to the two of you gentlemen for obliging us, even, as you are fasting. I know it's Ramadan time, and there's a lot of pressure.
Yes, and thank
but
you
you've obliged us, and so we are excited and happy to have you in the studios.
Share this opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I know that one thing that a lot of people complain, a lot of people who pay visits to the port city of Tema, usually is the sight of long vehicles, long trucks that park, sometimes on the shoulders of the road, at unapproved, unprescribed places and all that. And they wonder why this is so. And a lot of people who have insights into operations in the port and, the enclave also are aware that efforts are being made by port authorities and all that and others to ensure that the right things are done and that places are created for you to ensure that your members park these vehicles there in order that we don't obstruct traffic in the city. We just want to find out from you what role you are playing to ensure port efficiency, like I said in my intro, and going forward, what you'll be doing to ensure that this is, further improved and enhanced. But first of all, I want you to tell us some of the things that led to the formation of JAPTU and what you have been doing all this while.
Thank you very much, Ken. And we also want to greet your cherished viewers. This is one huge platform, and it's always a pleasure to be part of this very important program. Yes, JAPTU Ghana is the umbrella body of all transport unions operating from the ports of Ghana. Yes, the vision to establish JAPTU Ghana is actually the brainchild of the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. You can't say anything about JAPTU Ghana without paying real tribute to the leadership of the GPHA,
Ghana Port
especially with the clarity of vision that was demonstrated by the General Manager Marketing and Corporate Affairs, Madam Esther J.B. Donko.
Yes.
She's been extremely instrumental in getting all the transport associations within the port community to form JAPTU Ghana as an umbrella body, a conduit through which there can be formal and constructive engagement with the port authorities and other relevant duty bearers in the Maritime and Shipping Authority. If not for her resolute, determined leadership and clarity of vision, I don't think we can have JAPTU. And today, as transporters, we are all very happy. We played along or came along with her in putting together JAPTU. Because as a result of having JAPTU today, we are able to make very relevant input in sector-specific policy processes. We are also able as a unit to promote, identify, protect the welfare of our members. What GPHA has succeeded in doing with JAPTU Ghana can be likened to what at the national level maybe the ministry is struggling to accomplish with the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council. So I think even at the ministry, they have something to learn from the GPHA with how JAPTU has been set up and how we are functioning. We have a constitution that is, dynamic and responsive enough to the needs of our industry and our constituents. And the structure of the system that we are running now allows for the union to be able to organize and coordinate the operations of transporters, because the cargo haulage sector in this country is characterized by several individual, small, and most times not so well organized unions, and a lot of individuals who don't even see the reason to belong to a union.
Right.
So to have a well-structured entity such as JAP2 Ghana that is able to connect between us and all relevant duty bearers in the industry offers a very important conduit through which critical policies can be implemented in the decision, and offers us the space and the policy legitimacy to be able to invite everybody around so we can pool our competitive advantages, into a very formidable comparative advantage that complements the broader strategy of the port in being a port of choice in the West African sub-region. So for us, the opportunity of having JAP2 gives us a unique space within which to now organize all transporters to ensure that our services add value to the port. And this is what we are doing. And I think so far, we haven't done badly, even though we cannot be the best evaluators of our performance. But from where we sit, I want to say that we have done quite well and we want to do better.
All right, Mama, when we call her, that's Madam Esther Jebidonko. As you mentioned, she's somebody at whose feet we learn every day.
Exactly.
At the Marketing and Corporate Affairs Department. So I'm not surprised about, the things you are saying about her.
Leadership is simply impeccable.
Right.
At the inception of this JAP2 reform process, we gave her tough time because
was there any form of resistance or something?
I think, if for want of a better expression, we would say resistance, but it even went beyond resistance. But this is where leadership is all about. She saw the bigger picture that we were struggling to even understand.
To see.
But when she was able to get all of us to rally around that agenda, today we are happier and we see ourselves to be more efficient. So for us, we think that JAP2 is one of the legacies, several, that she will leave in the port. And we don't intend to disappoint her at that. We want to sharpen our skills to ensure that whatever we do as transporters adds to the competitiveness of the port. Because eventually, when the ships bring the cargo, it ends at the sea end of the trip. You will need overland transporters, the cargo haulers, to be able to carry the cargo efficiently in a cost-effective manner from the ports to the hinterlands, because many products are not really consumed where they are manufactured. You will need transporters to be able to convey these goods from the port to the hinterlands, from the farm gates to the ports and to the various markets. And we think that to be able to offer this service in a manner that adds real value to an entity like the port, you need to be organized.
Absolutely.
You need to be coordinated. And you need to understand how other systems in the ecosystem operate.
Awesome.
To be able to connect properly and to ensure that whatever you are doing is in sync with what others are doing collectively to ensure that our port remains competitive. Because ultimately, we are beneficiaries of the huge investment that the port makes in expansion, in modernizing, in the attraction of cargo. Ultimately, you buy your truck, but you don't bring in the cargo. You would need the port system to operate efficiently to attract the cargo.
Absolutely.
So whatever we do, the least we can do is to ensure that it is adding to the strength and the attractiveness of our port. And that is something that we are very mindful of.
Great. Thank you very much indeed. Among other names, I know Madam Esther is also called Madam Paperless.
That's right.
Due to the role she played
Yes.
during the implementation of the Paperless port
I remember
program.
in the there was this port. Is it the single window project?
Yes.
We were invited to be part of that 1 week training.
Yes.
And it was a real eye-opening. Yes, you get to understand what digitization and digitalization, the port community, how the single window operates. And I think these are things that we as a transport sector are beginning to benefit and understand and are able to repackage and disseminate down
To
our
your
structure
members,
for members to understand that much as we are operating as individual transporters, running our various companies, we are a critical part of this bigger picture.
Yeah.
And we need to play our role well, to fit well, to ensure that this system works efficiently.
Absolutely. Great. So let me come to you, Alaji Baba Yaro, and find out from you. What are some of the, when, in the first place, when did you start? How long have you been operating as an association?
Wow.
You are vice chairman of JAPTO.
Yes. Thank you very much for inviting me also here. I also want to use this opportunity to say to my Muslim brothers and sisters,
to wish them a happy Ramadan.
And to my Christian brothers and sisters too, the same happy Easter.
Yes.
Well, JAPTO Ghana started more than 18 to 20 years ago.
Wow.
But it was moving at the wrong direction. We're using just anyhow, like a driver association.
Yeah.
Until about 5 to 6 years ago, when the port saw that we are supposed to be relevant to the port, but because we don't, it's like we don't understand our values to the port, so we just mess around, no any administration, no respect to what we are doing. So the port decided that since we are also part of the stakeholders
in the industry,
they decided that we have to start organizing ourselves to be also ranging to the statutes of
the port. Yeah.
So about 5-6 years ago, the GM of
marketing, like
you said, with the the offices of the Ghana Shippers Authority.
Yes.
They came and called us on a meeting. And that meeting went rough. Everybody wanted to be the leadership of the association. And we are more than 10 associations, different in number in the port. So that is where confusion started. We started creating confusions. Nobody want to understand anything, not knowing that this that they want to do is going to bring progress to our work.
Yeah.
So they manage, and then that time they fail until another 2 years after. She came again. That is the marketing manager, and then the Ghana Shippers Authority, one lawyer Basiru, Fred Dati, and then their chief executive. They came and organized us and sat us, sensitized us on what they wanted to do, the vision they have about us. So they asked us to sit down and reason very well.
Yeah.
So that it is going to be our benefit. So that is where we started putting our attention down, trying to listen to them. And then we started by forming the constitution. Although right now it is the interim government body that we have, which I am the vice chairman. And I always want to thank Ibrahim Musa, our executive secretary, because he came with structures, and then he has been able to understand the movement of drivers when temperatures are high. He can translate the vision of the port. Yeah, to end. So he came, and then we started understanding ourselves. Then this port and then the Ghana Shippers Authority together formed this Joint Association of Port Transport Union umbrella, which I was made the vice chairman of the association. We have the chairman as Haulage the Gomba boy. Yeah. And then we started understanding ourselves. So that is how we started. And about 2 years ago, we saw that we are on the right path. Because with JEP2 now, we have been able to cancel diversion. We have bring understanding and then respect to the job. And then we have made our drivers to understand that we have to do something attractive to attract importance, and then others who come, because we are like carriers. The ship bring the goods from on the ocean. When it comes to the age, we also have to transport the goods to the hinterland. Okay, so with that intervention of our executive secretary and then some stakeholders, which I can't mention all of them here, we started understanding the situation, and that is where we started growing, and now I can say we are on a very sound footing. All right.
So I'm curious, Alaji. Do you own haulage trucks yourself?
Yes,
I have. But it's by virtue of that you are vice chairman.
Yes, I have plenty. I have a fleet of them.
Okay.
My own personal.
I hope they are not rickety. I hope they are sound and solid.
Very sound.
And solid and
roadworthy.
They are roadworthy.
So.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let me come to you and so I find out. Can you give us a fair idea of what the haulage sector in our country looks like, particularly those of you plying our ports and the Sahelian countries, and what your contribution, that's the contribution of the haulage sector to the economy is?
Okay, yes. One of the things that at the secretarial level we are trying to do is to deploy a system that allows us to collect adequate data that helps for our analysis and planning, and then to be able to have very informed discussions subsequently. Yes, as it stands now, basically what we do, or the service that we offer to the port community or the shipping community, is the haulage of cargo. We offer competent, cost-effective haulage services, ensuring that cargo that is meant to be moved from the port is moved in a timely manner, in a safe manner, in a manner that does not impose unnecessary financial burden on the shippers. By doing this, we also believe that we help in decongestion of the port. Part of the systems we have deployed is to ensure that trucks that belong to JAP2 are in good condition. This is why we see the introduction of the port load, truck load worthy inspection and certification to be a very timely intervention, and we are mobilizing and encouraging all our members to join, because that is an opportunity for all our trucks that may not be up to the required standard to go through a system that allows them to be able to do the necessary repair, maintenance, to ensure that at all times our trucks have the integrity that when the port puts somebody's cargo on us, they are sure that the cargo is safe to move. We also organize the community, because now we give the cargo tracking sector shape and identity. So we are able to be engaged if the port has some policies or programs to disseminate, we become a convenient conduit to do that exercise. We also assist in cutting the turnaround time for cargo, because we believe that if the trucks are in good condition, as the truck load-worthy is seeking to establish, then the number of breakdowns and the time that we waste on journeys is going to be shortened.
Absolutely.
We are able to make trips in shorter times, come back, have some additional cargo. In terms of capacity, we can say that we even have more than the capacity for the cargo that arrives.
Right.
That is why we are always excited when the port is investing in modernization and expansion. And we think the least we can do is to match that effort with the provision of good quality trucks. What we are doing also is engaging with the right stakeholders to ensure that our drivers are adequately educated on custom regulations, on port regulations, road traffic rules, and all of that. Currently, the union is in the process of translating LI 2180 into some leading local languages, audio form.
LI 2180, what is that?
That is the road safety regulations, yes. Because we think that in this day and age, it is just not right for a driver to be driving on our roads and not having a fair understanding of the road traffic regulation. And we think part of what has been a barrier for this has been the language. This legal document is in English. And we want to translate that into some leading local languages, audio, in formats that can be on their phones, that at their spare time they can play. And sometimes there are some infractions that to surprise you to know that people are not even aware that such things exist in our statute. These are things that the union is working on. We are also in the process of deploying an app that even allows shippers to be able to hire trucks.
JAPTO is going to do that?
Yes, remotely. Yes, and we think these are part of the modernization effort that we are also doing. All of this is to add some value, no matter how small, into the port operations. Not to talk of the employment opportunities that we offer. Yes, this is one sector that offers significant employment opportunities in the informal sector of our economy. You realize that a good number of our members, drivers and drivers' mates and assistants, are not fully educated, even though we have quite a few, but a vast majority of us do not have adequate formal education. And this is one sector that offers employment to these people. And if you look at how much cargo we are able to haul from the ports to the hinterlands, to our landlocked countries, then you will get to understand that, look, as a sector, we are the backbone of this economy, because we believe that it is on our back that materials, raw materials and finished products get to where they are supposed to go. So we think that we are also playing a very crucial role. What has helped us now is the fact that with this JAP2 arrangement, we now have the opportunity to pool together our resources. So we are also able to project based on the figures that we receive from the port to be able to say that around this time is a peak season for cargo arrivals at the port, and you don't want a situation where there's cargo and there are no trucks. So if truck owners have plans of even deploying trucks to other places, we are mindful of the need for trucks in the port community, and we ensure that there is adequate trucks there to go. We believe what would be a game changer is when we eventually deploy this app for shippers to be able to engage our trucks directly, dealing on the app, because the operations of the agents has become a factor that we think we can do without, because sometimes they add cost, unnecessary cost to shippers. And these are things that if we don't watch and deal with carefully, could undermine the competitive efforts of the port. So if we have the transporters and we have the union, we should be deploying systems that would make shippers get the right value for money and to see our port as the preferred choice in the sub-region.
Right.
So these are some of the things that we're trying to do.
Do you have an idea as to your fleet strength?
Say again? Yes, our fleet strength,
yes.
As
you
of the,
control a lot of trucks,
as of about 3 years, when some form of a census was conducted, we were in excess of 3,500.
Trucks, okay.
3,500.
When was that?
That's about 3 years ago.
So 2018, 2019?
Yes, that's around 20, I think it was 2017 rather.
2017, okay.
Yes, and we believe that the fleets are growing because certain people I know who had one are today counting 5.
Right.
So by that anecdote, I'm sure we are growing. And there are other people who hitherto were not part of JAP2 who are now applying to join and all of that. And we think that we can only grow. But what we are also trying to also do is to strengthen our internal regulatory mechanisms for the trucks. Much as we have the truck load worthy exercise, we also want to have discussions with relevant stakeholders to allow for pre-departure checks. The road safety is in the process of actually institutionalizing that. But until that happens, it's a need that we see so that before trucks are eventually discharged to go, we should just have a simple checklist to ensure that ABC are all in place to go. All of these things are attempting to mimic excellent systems elsewhere to see the extent to which we can adopt and adapt and deploy these systems in a manner that adds value. Because at the bottom of whatever we do, if it doesn't add value to the port operations, we don't think we are doing anything useful.
Right. All right, Elijah, I'm coming to you, and I would want to find out from you. I just found out from you, and you've made me understand that you own a fleet of trucks. Now, one of the complaints that a lot of people complain about or give has to do with the fact that most of the trucks are not roadworthy. Most of the trucks we see, plying the ports, are not roadworthy, and these are rickety trucks. You just look at them and it's crystal clear, it is evident. You see that, this truck, it shouldn't be doing this kind of work that it's doing. What are you doing as an association, the vice chairman of JAP2, to ensure that trucks under your membership or association are roadworthy trucks?
Wow. Well, thank you very much for this question. And recently, what you are seeing now, there's a change because I think we've done a lot. Before we give you a TLA to go into the port and load, we have certain checks that at least you must go above them. If you don't qualify to that system, we don't allow you to even get the TLA, nor get the tow and go into the port to load. And also, sometimes you see a picture on a platform and somewhere that is an old picture. But of these days, I think there are changes, although we did not come to where really we wanted to reach. Sometimes these spoil vehicles on the road. You see the road sector, the roads of the country, sometimes some areas are too bad. So that even when you are moving with a brand new vehicle, the road can cause some damage to the vehicle and you find it difficult to continue that time. So at the areas that the road are neat, when you watch, you never see a vehicle that has a problem. That's
rickety.
Yeah. But at a faulty road area where the situation of the road is too bad, that is where at least it's a must that when you are moving on that area with that huge load, something can happen. And because of that, the problem we have is sometimes we wanted to support the axle load. I mean, the way schedule they did. That we shouldn't take the above.
Sure.
But
above the limits,
Yeah, but sometimes we have some. Defaulters of the regulation, and when they move, they always had that problem. And we are finding solution to deal with them, so that those kind of situations
will not arise again.
But to our members of the JEPTO, we are even giving them a sticker to qualify you. You will see JEPTO sticker on your vehicle. When you see that vehicle, you can never see a rickety vehicle having that sticker. Okay. That means we do not qualify you. So some vehicles, you can see them loading from outside, not from the port. But when they are moving on the street, and since they are haulage trucks, everybody expect that they are coming from our side.
Right.
Yeah, but we are doing our best. And even I can see right now in the port, we have got about 3 safety officers who are working under even the operations of the port director of operation.
Yes.
I think Mr.
Gavin Amavi, the GM operations.
Yeah, any vehicle that is rickety, even when the driver doesn't want to cooperate, they report to the JEPTO safety officers. We know how to deal with our people. We clear you out of the port. And when you go into the port, there are systems. The port has got regulations. You have to follow that regulations. And when you load anything, if it is a container, you have to get the container hooks. Then the container belt. At least the container should be situated well on the vehicle. Our inspector in the port will see to it that it is very, very safe before he allow you to go out of the port. The same thing to those who carrying the other objects like iron and other things. The safety officers were there. So this time, although we didn't come to the range that we want, but hopefully, inshallah, with the grace of our stakeholders like you, establishing our misbehaviors on road, when we see it pains us. So we try to desist ourselves from doing that.
Right.
So within some few years to come, I don't think you'll be seeing those things. And we are praying that the road sector too, they should be able to do something about it so that it will not be ricketizing our vehicles by force.
All right. Indeed, thank you very much. Let me come to you and find out. I want to find out what your level of collaboration is with the other stakeholders that you work with. And who are these stakeholders, if you oblige us?
Yes, well, internally, JEPTO comprises 12 individual transport associations, 9 of them being local, that's Ghanaian, and 3 from our landlocked partners, namely Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Yes, these are all under the JEPTO umbrella. But externally, we have our leading stakeholder, that's the GPHA. We also have the Shippers Authority. We have Customs. We have the MTTD of the Ghana Police Service. And then these are all, and then the Road Safety Authority. These are all key stakeholders that we have various relationships with. And I would say, or I want to say confidently that our collaboration so far with them have been very fruitful. For example, with the GPHA, there is no single port policy that takes off without some consultation or input from us. And this is something we appreciate very much. We are also receiving sensitization on various aspects of the port operations from time to time. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a sensitization program with the port marketing department on the deployment of their payment platform, the short code that has been introduced. With the Shippers Authority, they have various committees that we are part of, especially the Transit Shipper Committee that has virtually all players that are relevant in the shipping industry present, and JEPTO is there. And this is a very high platform where critical sector policies in the haulage industry are discussed, and we are well represented there. With Customs, the relationship is also good, even though we wish it can be improved. Yes, they offer us sensitization, especially recently with respect to the ZIGMAT, the sub-regional, continental customs procedures or whatever that is being introduced. Yes, we were sensitized on the requirements and then the role that transporters will play in the SIGMAT operations. So we're having a good relationship, except that, away from the regional capital, we have a few issues, particularly with customs when it comes to how they interpret the transit regulations for cargo.
Okay.
Our understanding is that when a transit cargo breaks down, you report to the nearest custom station.
Right.
They deploy an officer to come and inspect the problem, write a report, and all of this is supposed to be done without a fee. But in practice, some custom, and I have to say a few custom officers are beginning to make it look like a key part of their regulations to charge from 500 to 1,000 Ghana cedis just before the documents are released. Transit trucks are supposed to exit.
Is this a legitimate charge or fee?
It is not legitimate because the rule says that the inspection and all of that is supposed to be free of charge. But sometimes, as a result of some logistical constraint, maybe the officer that has to move from their station to where your truck broke down.
So you have to transport them.
Exactly. And it's only fair that as a transporter, you take care of the cost. But for them, for some, I have to emphasize, for a few of them to demand this as though it is a legitimate charge. This is where we also want to
You mentioned 1,000. Do they all charge 1,000 for this particular service?
500 and 1,000.
Okay.
I had an unpleasant conversation with an officer in Kumasi who was, bold enough to. I asked him, so how do you describe this fee you are demanding for? He says workmanship. I said,
can it be receipted?
No, it's not. And these are things that I have to commend Assistant Commissioner in charge of transit, Mr. Antubre Ofori.
Right.
Every now and then I have that unpleasant duty of calling him, because these are people who are running very serious operations, and you call them to lodge a complaint of what I would describe as a misconduct of an officer. Because when you go into meetings with these senior officers, they are determined to facilitate trade, especially along our corridors. But it appears there is a disconnect between the policy makers at the top and the implementers at the bottom. Some of the officers at the bottom see every opportunity as a way of extorting something from transporters. And we think this is a part of the relationship with customs that we can work on, because these are things that do not affect, support the efficiency of our transit corridor.
So when you lodge some of these complaints with the AC in charge of transit, has
he
it always
resolves
acted?
it? He always resolves it with the speed of lightning, and that is where our encouragement comes from. But we think if these are regulations, the officers should understand that as a state, we are in competition with other countries that have ports. And we need to conduct ourselves in a manner that promotes trade, that facilitates trade. Officers who are on government payroll, who are being paid by the taxpayers' money, should not form this unpleasant habit of extorting monies from shippers, from transporters. Because at the very top, once, you call Mr. Ofori, whether he's busy or not, or you send him a text message, within a short period, this problem is resolved. And we have to thank, if not for his open door policy towards us, we would be in a very difficult situation. Well, if you are not able to exit within the period provided, there's a penalty to be paid. And sometimes this penalty, depending on how many days you spent in, can be very significant. So I think this is something that customs can help us resolve. With the police, the major concern we have has to do with the number of police barriers. From Tema to Paga, we have in excess of 70 barriers. Some permanent, others just mushroom from time to time.
You hit there, by the time you return, they are not there.
They are not there. And sometimes, much as the police top hierarchy will tell you that our roads need to be safe, and we appreciate that, but we think sometimes some officers take undue advantage of providing security to rather extort monies. You have a uniformed officer who would disrespect his uniform by demanding 5 cedis, 2 cedis from a driver. And we think that these are things that the police can do without. Yes, if there is a genuine infraction, the law must be enforced. But we shouldn't use that as an opportunity to enrich ourselves. We need to build our country together, and all of us have a role to play.
Right.
They would also because at the end of the day, if the port is investing in expanding the port, in modernizing the port, in marketing and promoting the port, and then shippers bring their cargo in, only for the overland leg of the shipping process to be frustrated by a junior officer. There was this horrible experience somewhere last year where a junior officer lined up a number of transit truck drivers and flogged them.
Wow.
Flogged them. Flogged them. This was a case that, once again, I can't go on without mentioning Antesta. He had to come in forcefully. It happened on a Friday evening, but by Sunday, he made sure the matter was resolved. And we were happy that there were even some punitive measures that was meted out to the police. But we think that these are very unfortunate things that shouldn't happen, because there are other institutions that are focused on promoting transit trade. And it costs a lot to attract the cargo here. So one of the things that we, even as JAP2, in our interactions with the police, recommend, if they don't already have it in the police training curriculum, is the introduction of a trade facilitation course across the entire hierarchy of the police, so that when a police officer is deployed to go to the road, they understand the impact of what they are doing on trade facilitation, because the competition is getting keen. We have the Africa Continental Free Trade already with us. And when it comes fully functional, you can imagine the competition that would exist. And these are things that we can do without. You understand me? So these are some of the areas. But by and large, we think that now we are enjoying, a lot of visibility, a lot of access to policy processes. Because when the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, before it was made operational, we had the Boosting Intra-Africa Trade, the BIAT committees. Yes, we were part of the Trade Facilitation Committee, and that is a very high-powered committee.
Absolutely.
If not for what GPHA had done with our structure as JAP2, I don't think we can be recognized or identified to even participate in these processes. And these are things we keep telling our members, that it is in our interest to ensure that we are working with all the stakeholders in a manner that adds value to what they do.
Absolutely.
And so far, I think we are getting to understand, and I believe that with time we can only do better.
All right. So let me come, we're going for a break shortly, but let me come to Haulage and find out from you. He just mentioned some of the challenges, when plying the corridor from, Tema to Paga, in the 70 barriers, police extorting monies and all that, and other officials also misconducting themselves instead of facilitating trade, at their duty posts and all that. And you are a truck owner. You own fleets of trucks. I just want to find out from you whether you have received some of these complaints from some of your drivers.
That one is every day. Even as we sit waiting for this interview, calls have been coming. We have to communicate. You see, as he said, when the drivers have a problem with a custom officer, they will call our office. Then we also call the Ghana Shippers Authority. Then they will intervene, find out what is the situation, they help. Sometimes we get, because in a day we can have more than 10, 20 of such cases. And sometimes we leave them go. If it is the police, we go to the police. That is
Dr. Sasu.
Dr. Sasu.
Yeah.
You see a high hierarchy person in his office. We can give him about 5 calls, 6 calls a day of this misconduct of some junior officers who doesn't know that trade here in Ghana right now. We are trying to facilitate it. When a cargo is moving with a transit goods, they are supposed to help to see that he goes well. But a junior officer can hold a truck for about an hour or 2, just demanding
some
just,
money.
For unnecessary, for no fault of his, the driver. So we have been facing that every day, and our drivers are complaining, and we even want. So there was a time we went on a spy vision. We were with them, and we see the conduct of the police. We made some recordings, but later there's no way you can take them. So that situation is still the problem. I think Executive Secretary was saying that some of the police, the junior officers, are supposed to go some courses to understand the trade facilitation project on the route.
Right.
So that when they see any transit vehicle moving, there are some contingencies they are supposed to give, not to give him troubles and then force him to stand. Even before we enter here, someone sent a picture of a fire extinguisher that the police check his vehicle and there's no problem. Then he asked him to produce his fire extinguisher. He produced it. The picture is in my phone now. Then the police officer says it's too small. And the size of it is very big, but the police officer says no. So just this simple thing, we have to consult the police officer, beg him, say certain things. Even the way he conducts himself is too bad, because he mentioned that we should send some money on the mobile money for him. Then we mentioned his period that we are going to report him before he releases the vehicle. So this thing, you have to help us find a way that these people will understand so that we deal with it.
All right, so this is our report here on Metropolitan Television, and tonight we are discussing port efficiency and the role of the haulage sector. And with me in the studios, Ibrahim Musa, who is Executive Secretary of JAPTU, and indeed Mr. Haji Samshu
Baba Yaro,
who is the Vice Chairman also of JAPTU. We are going for a quick break. When we bounce back, we continue with the discussion. Please stay with us.
Good things happen this time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP Run 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. GOIL Super XP Run 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Run 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Run 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. SULPHUR, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water, or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance. Oh, Ajima, tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects, and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
All right, so you're welcome back. We will be activating the phone lines. Please. In fact, I've been told to activate the phone lines right now for you to call in. The number to dial is 020-552-8353, 020-552-8353. And I'll go into the inbox right now. This one says, my name is Frank from Laboni. I want to know what I stand to gain or to benefit as a transporter if I join JAP2.
Yes, obviously, there are some part of a bigger organization. There are issues of advocacy that as an individual operator, you may not be able to push for yourself. But when you join the JAP2 family, you stand to be covered by the bigger policies and the interests of the union. In any case, if you are part of JAP2, cargo that we mobilize, you also have access to that type. So if you have your own cargo sourcing methods that cost you money, that is something you can save when you join JAP2, because we have a system that is able to mobilize the cargo and then we distribute among our members.
Okay.
Several other things that you can gain. Just reach out to us, and I'm sure you would not regret being a member of JAP2.
JAP2. All right, this one says, hello, I'm Larry. Can you please touch on the Zigmat you mentioned? What is it about?
Wow, this is a question that I think customs will be the best to answer, but to the best of my understanding, it's an integrated regional customs documentation process. It's supposed to make custom documentation seamless, such that the declaration is done at one end and it is seen across to the exit point.
Right.
It's a very efficient system, and I'm sure once it's deployed, the industry would benefit greatly from it.
All right. Thumbs up to the various transport unions for coming together. My humble suggestion is for them to make training and workshops for members a key pillar of the association. In addition to the trainings on technical issues, they should also add customer service to the training. Please, can I get Ibrahim's contact? This one's from Joseph Oliver Boas. All right. Behind the scenes, my producers will get in touch with you, Joe, and they furnish you with Ibrahim's contact. Or better still, we can hand over your contact to him so that he would, in turn, also contact you. All right, so like I said, the phone lines are activated. The number to dial is 020-552-8353, 020-552-8353. You can call in and contribute to the discussion. And we are discussing port efficiency and the role of the haulage sector. With me in the studios, Mr. Ibrahim Musa, Executive Secretary, JAP2, and Alhaji Shamsu Babayaro, who is also Vice Chairman of JAP2. Yeah. Now, let me find out from you. your pricing regime or pricing policy, is it across board or it varies from company to company for all hauliers?
For JAP2, we try as much as possible to establish the ceiling. So other members operating under us are not allowed to price beyond that level. Currently, you know, the issues of fuel prices. We were part of the advocacy to demand for the removal of some taxes and levies on the petroleum price build-up.
Right.
Yes, we identified some 5 specific taxes and levies that we felt could have been scrapped to give some reprieve to fuel consumers. Incidentally, government chose to go for price adjustment, 15%, being sensitive to the positioning of our port. Much as that directive from the Coalition of Commercial Transport Operators of Ghana to apply that 15% effective 28th February. We have been very hesitant or slow in applying that because we are mindful of the rates that, you know, are being charged in other ports that we are competing with. We had some consultation with our stakeholders, and then very soon we will adjust it, even though it may not be up to the 15%. But then we are sensitive to the market.
Yes, you are sensitive to the market. We'll come to that.
Sir.
But hold on, let's pick a call and then continue. Hello, good evening, sir. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Please, your name and where you're calling from?
Please, my name is Raymond, calling from Num in the Eastern region.
Please, Flo, go ahead.
Okay, I just tuned into the middle of the discussion, but the little that I heard, I think as people, we need to, if I may say, reorient ourselves. And I'll touch on the secretary's issue that he mentioned concerning police personnel extorting money from the officers on the road, at the port too. And sometimes we only blame politicians. We say politicians are corrupt. But individually, we need to really look into our behavior. Because sometimes you'll be in a car, and at a public glare, you see police taking money from drivers.
Yeah.
You might find children in the car, and indirectly they are copying some of these behaviors. So I would like to commend you for this program, and we will pray that this program continues so that it will become educated to us.
Thank you very much indeed, Raymond, calling us all the way from the Eastern region. We're grateful to you. You can also call. The number to dial is 02055283353 and then contribute to the discussion. Yes.
Yes, and
you say you are sensitive to the market.
Very sensitive to the market because we know the pricing for haulage services is one thing that we need to manage properly. Other than that, it could become a disincentive for shippers utilizing our ports. Yes, that's why we haven't been quick in taking the 15% and applying it across board. And we are engaging. We have actually finished our stakeholder engagement, and we sure by 1st of May we will adjust our rates. And then that will not even be up to the 15% permissible. Yes. These are all some of the things that we do. And then the union has in place systems to check arbitrariness, to check infractions, because we need to operate as a unified entity. And we do our assessment to understand what will make our operations viable and what will not. And whatever rate we are coming out, we believe will still make us competitive enough.
All right, so let me come to you, Alhaj, and find out from you. As an association, definitely you have challenges. And I know some of your membership, not all of them are correct. You have some intransigent ones amongst them. Sometimes when you are able to fish out some of these intransigent ones, what are some of the sanctions you mete out to them? And what are some of the things that they do that you deem intransigent?
Yeah.
Before you come in, I think they say we have a caller. Let's go onto the phone lines and pick the caller, and then when we come back, we'll take your response. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Please, Flo.
Yes. My question goes to the GAP2 man. Yeah. They have positioned their container. There's a kiosk right behind the toll office at Golden Jubilee. And anytime you are going to buy toll, they will insist that you buy their ticket.
Their ticket, okay.
For 5 cedis. And my point is it compulsory? I will decide which union to join. But like they are there always insisting that you buy
from them.
So you don't know what they do for you.
All right. Thank you very much, Samuel from Smithtex Road. I think Mr. Musa will take your
First
question
and
and give you a
foremost,
response.
you know, unions are run with resources. And there has to be an opportunity for the union to also raise the required resource to run. And this is a fee that was sanctioned by the port. He says...
it's how much? 5 cedis?
5 cedis.
Okay, per ticket, okay.
He says it's not compulsory to belong to JAP2. JAP2 is only the umbrella body of all the transport unions in the port. I remember very well in our stakeholders sensitization last 2 years, the policy was stated clearly by the General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs, that any transporter or anybody who operates a transport union must belong to JAP2. So once you work in the port community, you, as a matter of course, belong to JAP2 through any of the other affiliate associations. And the 5 cedis we take is a token to also help us. For example, this app that we are developing, other trainings that we are putting together. For example, we are working with relevant stakeholders to have an ultra-modern training center. Have you ever wondered how people eventually become professional truck drivers? How many of such training centers do you have? We need to have a center like that that offers the right kind of training. These are huge investments that you require, and you need the necessary resources to be able to do that.
Yes. Okay, so let's go on to the phone lines and welcome Edward onto the show. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, please flow.
Yeah, I also joined in the contribution I heard from one of the panelists complaining about how the police disturb them on the road.
Yes.
I don't think it is always all the police who will be recalcitrant ones, but genuinely the police also has a mandate to be sure of what haulage they are hauling across the country. Especially most of these haulages go to the north, up north. And most of the time we have had or got news media coming out with police having arrested a cargo loaded with guns and other contraband goods. So how do they arrest them? At least there must be some, but sometimes they use these excuses, and so therefore the police shouldn't check them at all. Do you understand me? In some of the cases, it is true, the police may not know, especially he made a complaint of where the police must be trained also to understand how the movement of the cargo is. So they will know how to listen. But it appears that the contraband goods are always going. So if because of corruption of the police, so they should go without them being checked completely, I mean, can that also be fair?
All right.
Anyway, that's my contribution.
Thank you very much, sir. Edward from the Eastern Region, Koforidua, that's the Eastern Regional Capital. But his point is that, it's not all the police officers that are, I mean, there are few bad nuts, but you gave clear examples of one police officer asking that you send money even through Momo.
Exactly.
And all that. And so these were clear cases that he had cited, which had happened, and they have evidence to that effect. And but honestly, I think I'll give it to him. It's not all of them that are like that.
Oh yes.
And so yes,
it's like the issue of bad nuts. Even among drivers, truck owners, we still have some that would want to cut corners. And these are all people that we will always fish out and report. For example, if we have wind that a driver is conniving with a cargo owner to divert. When we get the slightest wind of that, we quickly report that to the appropriate quarters for investigations to happen, because at the end of the day, we are supposed to help sanitize the industry. So some of these complaints, and like in our discussions, we didn't say this is happening as a police policy. No. We admit that this is just a manifestation of the misconduct of a few police officers, and we think that if we are able.
And you mentioned the incidents where a junior officer lined up drivers and flogged them.
Exactly. These are matters that even go as far as violating their human rights, and because the humiliation was just unacceptable, and we think that these are things we can do without. I'm sure with time.
Yes. So let me come to Haulage. Haulage, I asked you that question. What are some of the infractions that some of your members commit that attract sanctions? And what are some of the sanctions you mete out to them?
Yeah. You see, careless driving.
Because JAPTO is organized.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
So.
Yes. When a driver drives carelessly and we get the information, we give him a sanction. And when a driver drunk whilst driving, and we don't even allow him to drive again. We punish him by seizing his driving license, and we have got even in my office pictures of drivers that we ban them from taking transit goods. They will be so they will come and sit in the office. We give them part of the welfare, then we find some money for them as a chop money. But we don't allow them to drive. Some for the period of 3 months.
Why would you do that? Is it because of
you see
habits that they can't correct or something?
No, they are making our business unattractive.
Okay.
How will somebody be driving this big truck, be driving carelessly on the road? Sometimes you go to...
Haulage, I'm so much interested in that. Let me go and pick a caller. I think he's Yusuf, and then come back and then continue. Yes. Hello, good evening, sir. Yes. Please go ahead. Good evening, sir.
My name is Yusuf.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying the program.
Thank you.
But I just want to make some contributions towards what Mr. Musa or Alhaji Musa has just said. You see,
yes.
Even though with the issues of the police, yes, we all know how the police do it, not all of them, but some. But specifically, police from there are police from these two regions, the Puno region, yes, police who operate from Kintampo coming all the way to Pechimai. Frankly speaking, everybody is aware of this. The issue that is happening between the road from Pichmai and Kintampo. Yes, there was a year back. Even they have to, and excuse me to say, they will have their prosecutor and they have their judge, who within 4 to 5 hours they can just the police will be sent to the court. You don't even have anything to explain. You see, we had all those, and some of our colleagues have been falling victim into those areas. But coming to the toll issue, you see, yes, we know how I'm a driver at the port, and we know how the union is operating. But there are certain things that at times the union have to stand up to live up for expectation, because we have been going through to some things within the port that the union have to come out to also speak in favor of the drivers. You see, yes, we have been taking toll all the time. We see how drivers have been handled in some ways around within even the port. Just look at the amount we pay for Gapua too. You see, when you make a mistake and your appointment is not valid, then you have to pay for. Today, as we are talking, the toll is almost 30 Ghana cedis because it's beyond 25 now.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed, Yusuf. From Ashaiman, we're grateful to you for your contribution to the show. Yes, Haulage.
Yeah. So I'm telling you about the sanctions we do to misconduct when a driver does that. Yes. So, and also, even if you are in the port and we realize that you are drunk, Then our safety officer will give a report. Then we can report you to the Gapua security. They will immediately arrest you to send you to the intelligence. Then we come and pick you up there. Then we suspend you from driving. We will make another driver to go and, if there's a cargo on top, to continue to continue the journey. And we have been pasting stickers of JEP2 Ghana on our vehicles, so that in case of careless driving or misconduct, anybody at all who sees it can just call our office, then give us a report.
Do you look out for only alcohol, or you look out for drugs as well?
That is even most of all. The drugs, we look out for that. Yeah. And then wine ties, when a vehicle has some wine ties, which is very, very wine, and he wants to move on the road, we don't allow that.
Right.
We ourselves, we don't allow that. Yeah, these are part of things.
Some of the things, sanctions, infractions and the sanctions, accompanying sanctions. Okay.
I think.
All right. Yeah.
Executive Secretary may have something to add.
You want to? Okay, I understand we have another caller. I think that should be our last caller. Let's pick him, and then we take your closing remarks because we don't have enough time. Good evening, sir.
Yes, because let me.
Hello.
When you hello.
Yes.
Yes. When you make.
Your line is.
Yeah,
your line is breaking. Yeah.
Yeah, when you make a scanning of your license, because what I know is that the license number is authentic one. That it's like an insurance one that the police will determine and see that your license is authentic or not. But when you hold a duplicate, they will tell you it's not license. But instead of checking that is authentic or your name that you mentioned or your date of birth and everything, the police will not allow you. Why?
Did you get that question? Yes, I think. All right. Okay. Thank you very much indeed for the call. We're grateful to you. Yes. You happen to be our last caller, though. We're grateful. Yes.
I think it says, unlike for insurance stickers, where you just scan the barcode, you are able to authenticate.
Whether it is authentic
Sometimes
or not.
the drivers prefer to show their photocopied license.
Yes.
And the question is, why are the police not interested
in the photocopied versions?
Photocopying to authenticate the legitimacy or validity of that license, but are using that sometimes as a ploy to just extort from them. These are some of the concerns, and I'm sure the police administration probably is also working to resolve some of these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we have barely 2 minutes to go. I just wanted to tell me, going forward, what your role would be, particularly with this issue of haphazard parking of trucks within the port enclave, which causes a lot of problems. What are you doing as an association to ensure that the right thing is done so that we cure this anomaly?
We have started conversations with the National Road Safety Authority, and also we are trying to, get them to also escalate the conversation to the assemblies, because by law the assemblies are supposed to provide for a parking space. The GPHA has done its bit in providing us what we all call the Wenko yard as a temporary parking space. Yes, and part of what we want to do in the future is to have the mandate to be able to crack the whip also on our drivers, because even if we choose to go on an operations, you might have issues of legitimacy of the action, because it's supposed to be something done by MTTD or some other state institutions. But for the space at Wenko Yard, that is big, and we are encouraging them to go in. We have a few issues with the management of the facility and the state of the area, but the general manager in charge of estate is also in a discussion with the managers of the facility to take some of those actions that will make the place more attractive to receive our trucks.
All right.
So moving forward, we just want to assure the shipping community that we are continuously reviewing our operations and we are working to ensure that our operation systems and all those things become very efficient and support the shipping industry with the kind of services that they require from us.
All right, just in 30 seconds, ACVL, they are rolling out this truck identification and inspection.
Yes.
How are you helping them?
Yes, we are actually sensitizing our members to come on board. We have given them space at the secretariat to do the registration. And then from time to time, we even take on the registration ourselves when their officers are not available. And we want to encourage all our members to participate in this process because it is going to help us, help the port, and help the shipping community.
Right. Great. So that's how we draw the curtain on tonight's edition of Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. With me in the studios doing the discussion has been Mr. Ibrahim Musa, who is Executive Secretary of JAPTU, and then indeed Alhaji Shamsu Baba Yaro, who is Vice Chairman of JAPTU. We've been discussing port efficiency and the role of the haulage sector. Indeed, we'd like to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL Company Limited, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, and Meridian Port Services. The show is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Remember, the abridged version of the show is aired on Ghana Television every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Make a date and watch that one. God willing, next week we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of Iron Port here on Metro TV. Wish you a super week and indeed a happy Easter.